Well, good morning and welcome to DCC Today. As you can tell, things are a little bit different this week here on the program. If you watched our Sunday service yesterday, you probably understand why that is, because we have a new guy on staff, Simonsen, who's helping us with our video production. That appears to be the reality now of life with COVID-19, that so much is happening online and with video. And we're really excited to have Shane coming along to help us do it well. We'll talk more about that in just a few minutes, but we try to start off with a photo of the day. And today our photo comes from, who's it come from? Ken Kessler. Now, Ken sent me a photo. I think he was inspired by Bird Week last week. Remember last week, all the photos of the day featured birds. And Ken, I think he outdid everybody because we had a lot of little Tweety birds last week. And Ken sent us this picture of bald eagles. And nice job, Ken. Those are gorgeous birds. And thank you for sharing that with us. Okay, some announcements. Of course, this coming Sunday, Sunday morning, 10 a.m., we'll continue our teaching series, Faith Has Feet, working through the book of James. That'll be online at 10 a.m., or if you get the DVDs, you can pick those up from the church. And if you're not yet on the list for getting a DVD, and that would work better for you than viewing the service online, just contact the church office and let them know, and we'll be happy to get you on the list to get a copy of that. We are also going to, this Sunday, be having communion. It's the last Sunday of the month, and Pastor Britt and Gail will be leading us in communion during the service. But of course, you'll need to provide your own elements to use at home. So just log that away and be planning for Sunday morning. I also mentioned yesterday in my message that we're going to set up some town hall meetings. We really want to hear from all of you what your thoughts are about moving forward through this coronavirus with all the restrictions, and how do we do church, and so we just would like to hear from you. And what we're planning are a series of meetings, some of them on Tuesday nights from like 7 to 8 p.m. We also are going to set out a time slot on Wednesday afternoons from 1 to 2. And we'd like you just to let us know which of those is a better time slot for you. There are limits to how many people we can have in any single group. And so it's going to take us several weeks to get everyone shuffled through to hear from you. In addition to in-person meetings, we'll also plan some online Zoom meetings for people that aren't comfortable coming for an in-person meeting. But you let the church office know what a good time slot is for you, either Tuesday night or Wednesday afternoon, and if it's best for you to meet in person or to do it online via Zoom, and we'll get you set up. Be watching for an email that's going to come out. That email will give you a chance to indicate that to us. Okay, how about Around to It? Around to It came from Cheryl Robbins. And Cheryl says that she finally got around to a major project. Last year she had a buck in her backyard. She said it panicked, made a mad dash, tried to jump over her back fence, but the poor thing didn't make it over the fence. The deer did not survive the encounter with the fence, although she says that some friends came and got the meat so it didn't go to waste. But in the process, the buck bent a couple of the fence posts. And she finally got around to getting the fence repaired. So, Cheryl, congratulations. We celebrate you on finally getting around to it. Yeah! Well, how about a devotional thought for today? It comes from John chapter 16, verse 33. It's Jesus speaking. He says, "In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world." You know, when I hear people that pitch a version of Christianity that says, if you just have enough faith, if you just believe God well enough, that then life is going to go great. You're going to be healthy, wealthy, prosperous. I always wonder if they've actually read what Jesus said. Jesus said, in this world, you will have tribulation. We've all been experiencing some tribulations for months now, haven't we? With this virus, with a lot of social unrest, other things going on in our world. And Jesus didn't say that the fact that we're having tribulations means that we are necessarily doing something wrong or not believing well enough. He's talking to his disciples. He says, this will be part of your reality. But he also says, take heart. I have overcome the world. Those tribulations are not the end of the story. In the end, Jesus is the victor. And to hold on to him and to trust him even in tribulation assures us that we will be overcomers as well. So I don't know what tribulations you're facing today, but I just want to assure you that Jesus is the overcomer and to hold on to him. Well, we're going to have an interview, and I'm not going to make Jennifer do the interview today. I'm going to do the interview, and I want to spend some more time talking to Shane, our new communications director. So Shane, why don't you come and join me, and let's just talk a little bit. So this is Shane Simonsen. Hi, Shane.
Howdy.
And you told people just real briefly yesterday a bit of your background, but maybe give people a little more understanding of where you've come from and what got you here.
Okay. I went to Bethel High School. I grew up in Graham, Washington, which is near Puyallup, and I went to Washington State University where I studied communication. I went there as a poli-sci marketing double major, but I didn't care for statistics, and I didn't care for the art of war and the kind of things they were teaching in poli-sci. So I switched to communication because they had a really good school for that there. All through college, I worked for a lot of different opportunities, but like Fox Sports, I operated a handheld camera for my 4 years there. And then coming out of college, I pretty much had done all of the things that an internship would provide for. So I took a year and I wrote for a small town paper in Central Oregon. I lived in Sisters, Oregon, and that's kind of my adopted hometown. And after that, I moved to LA. I worked in the industry. I made behind the scenes special features for a number of amazing films and TV series.
But like what are films we might recognize that you worked on?
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind was one, 21 Grams. Stargate was one of the TV series. The original Battlestar Galactica series.
Really?
I helped produce all of the behind the scenes content for that. So, and that was fun because you got to go interview the original cast and all that. So, yeah, after spending time in LA and just seeing what that was about, I really realized that I didn't want to have a part of contributing to that kind of content. I wanted to create content for the Lord, and I didn't know what that looked like. But I moved back to Oregon to take a little time off, and I ended up doing youth ministry and playing music, leading worship, and doing a lot of odd jobs to support that. And
so you just kind of stepped away from the industry for a while as far as the professional video production side of things.
I did. I honestly, it was one of those things where I put it down and I said, God, if you want me to do this, like I lay this before you and you'll restore it to me. And so, yeah, long story short, he's been working some pretty amazing things in the last number of years. So, yeah, I've been given gifts and talents, and I want to use them to serve the kingdom.
Yeah, that's great. It's interesting that you ended up here in Sequim. You've worked in some other ministry places, and you were between jobs. You just left a position, and you're looking for a position. And for the last couple months, probably 3 months, really, we've started talking and thinking about, would we actually bring a person on staff to help us with this kind of video production, with our online social media, because quite honestly, doing video has become a major part of what I've had to do. I've got some background with it, nothing like yours, but hours per week have gone into doing all the video stuff we're doing, which has been great. We've needed it, but I've also recognized that this wasn't sustainable to do this long term. And it looks like what we're doing with video is going to need to be long term, even as we start getting back together for more in-person meetings. I believe this video component is going to continue to be significant, as well as social media, those types of things. And so I had gone as far as to put up one little ad on a Bible school job board, a Bible school I went to years ago that had a little media program, and I just kind of threw up this ad. It wasn't even a good ad, saying, hey, we're looking for someone that could help with some video production kind of thing. That's all there was to it. And I pretty much even forgot it was there. I got no responses to it. And this week comes, I guess, 3-4 weeks ago now, we were actually talking about this in staff. I was praying about it. And out of the blue, I get an email from some guy, Shane Simonsen, that says, are you still looking for a video production person? And how did you find our ad?
Well, I looked really hard. I just got on, I do freelance work as well. And so I resigned from my position and I was going to pursue freelance work or, a communication media director position. And I just Googled it and then it came up, I found it and I was reading it. So then I went to the website to check out what DCC was all about. So I was reading it. And then when I went back to answer the ad, it disappeared because apparently I closed the window. And then I searched around to find it, and I couldn't find it again. So because I had the website open, I was able to actually call the front desk, and then they gave me your voicemail, and then I followed up with an email. And so that's how I found it. And then initially I was just like, yeah, so if you guys need help with video, love to have a conversation and see,
And what was really amazing to me, as we had talked to staff, we identified kind of 3 areas we had needs. When we start doing in-person stuff, we could use help in audio, managing our audio crews and that kind of thing. But right now, especially with the online needs, video production was big, but we also really need help with our social media. Those of you that watch our Facebook page, you'll know that it's sporadic at best. Our Instagram is virtually non-existent, but those are really important communication tools. We said, man, if we could find someone that could help us do a better job with our social media and with video and with sound, that would be awesome. And then we all said, well, of course, those people don't exist. And then we meet Shane, and Shane does video production, and you also have done a lot of social media management. What kind of stuff have you done with that?
Well, so social media and marketing, so I went to marketing and my whole thing that I didn't care for was the manipulative aspect, and that's why political science, I would have had a public policy degree if it existed then, but it didn't, and that's why I went to communication because it was a way to reach the world. And so my friend owns a marketing company, and he brought me in as his creative guy a number of years ago. And through that, I really started studying the new media because we're in an age of new media with Instagram and Facebook, which are billion-dollar corporations for a reason. So you have major companies across the world, walking away from Super Bowl ads and choosing Instagram ads, and that's accessible. I can't make a Super Bowl ad and put it on there. I don't have the money, but I can make an Instagram post and I could put it on there. So we have access to the same tools that these huge corporations have access to, which is pretty cool. It's an amazing point in history right now. And so we do ads for, basically you build content, and it's, what I love about marketing is it's connecting people to the answer to their need. You're finding someone that has a service, you're finding someone that has a need, and you're connecting those people. And that's really the heart of marketing that I love. And so with social media, you're building the trust, you're building a relationship through social media just to show people what you're about. You're building that relationship just like you see them every day in the coffee shop. You see them every day on your Instagram or Twitter feed.
Yeah, and then of course right now, a lot of us aren't seeing people in the coffee shop, and so it is the Facebook, Instagram. I know there's a part of me, and we've talked about this because you feel the same, when you talk about marketing in the church, that we go, yeah, we're not about trying to sell stuff, but the good side of that is, like you said, finding the need and connecting it with the right service, if you will, people who need Jesus being connected with the gospel. That's the good way that we're doing that, and connecting a church body together. And so when we realized that you had a lot of experience, you understood how to make the most of social media, as well as help us with video production, we just said, okay, Lord, this feels like a real answer to prayer. So, and you're married,
I am.
and we'll have to meet your wife at some. I mean, I met your wife. They'd probably have to meet your wife at some point. So we'll scare her, get her on camera someday. And you got a son?
Yeah, Samuel. He's 8 years old.
Okay, and your wife's name is
Angela.
Angela. So,
They're watching right now, I'm sure.
Hi guys. So, we are really delighted to have you here. I'm sorry for all of you that it's a little hard for you to meet Shane in person right now. We're going to look for opportunities that he will get to interact with people. But we thought this at least would be a way to get you started, to know who he is a little bit and what he's doing for us, and just look forward to what this is going to mean in the future. That's really going to wrap us up for today. Let me just say a word of prayer to start the day off, and then we'll close. Father, I just thank you for how you have worked in bringing Shane to us and us to him. Lord, this is all about how we can be your people, how we can stay connected to each other, how we can be connected meaningfully to our community, that the gospel would be brought into this world in ways that make a difference. I pray that you will be in this, that you will continue to lead us, and I pray for all those who are watching right now, for the day ahead of us, Father, that you will use us to do good works for your kingdom that will show the glory of your Son. And I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. We'll be back here again Wednesday morning, and until then, God bless.